Edo, welcome to No Choftes. We haven't done one of these in a while, have we? Therapy session. The last time we did a podcast, it was after the 3-3 draw against Ayers. We were despondent, we were down, we were upset. We were never as many, whatever you want to describe it as. It wasn't great, was it? Weren't looking good, brev. Weren't looking good at all. But you know what? A week has passed. I've calmed down quite a bit. And nothing has really happened, has it? Nothing has really happened. So I figured, you know what? I think we're due a therapy session. Maybe get a few things off our chest. Not that we want to cause any trouble. I just think it would be nice for people to get involved and talk a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the link right here. If you want to jump on, feel free to do so. But I'll only bring you guys in after I say what I have to say. It's important. It's important. Now, as you guys are fully aware, yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of us going to Manchester and losing. And while it was a great experience, don't get me wrong, it was wonderful meeting so many people. Roy came over from Lefkosia, had him around my yard for a couple of days. My guy doesn't snore. He don't snore. Like usually you could hear everything through my walls because they're paper thin. Guy don't snore. It's all good, man. No problem. But it was a great experience meeting loads of people. We took over Manchester. Literally, I did a video. I remember doing a video and sending it to Rodri Giggs. I was like, we've taken over Manchester, bruv. And he found it funny. He found it hilarious. And he still uses one of the screenshots in our WhatsApp group. He just makes memes out of me, the fucker. But yeah, it was a wonderful experience. And, meeting Muggy, meeting Mario, meeting a whole bag of people. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. The atmosphere was sensational. Baba Starrell getting on the megaphone to talk to the fans in Manchester Square, where the Arndale is. It's brilliant. I'm not going to lie, boys and girls. The drive back was a motherfucker, though. 4.5 hours. It's horrible. Horrible. I can't. Never again. Never again. But looking back at the videos, looking back at people's footage, it gave me goosebumps. Goosebumps. And it just makes me wonder, are we ever going to have days like that again? It just makes me wonder. And I hope we do. I really hope we do, because this club deserves it. The fans deserve it. Sure as fuck the fans deserve it. But given the way that things are at the moment in the league and the way that other clubs have improved and are still improving, I worry. I really do worry. And this is Stel being the Doom Lord. Oh my God. Stel is coming back with the Doom Merchant mentality. I just think I'm a realist. And while it's exciting to be in and around the top 6 and thinking that we've got an opportunity to do something fantastic, the fact is, boys and girls, while we're not a million miles away from challenging, the gap is getting bigger, for sure. For sure. And look, I'm not here to talk about that right now. I'll talk about it later. But as I said, it was an incredible experience in Manchester. And do you know what? I still think if Bruno fucking squared it, if he squared it, what would have happened? Would Gaguli have scored and put us a goal up? Would we have got a famous victory in Manchester? Send shockwaves through Europe? Because given the way that Man United are playing right now, and given the way that they played against us, yes, Francis was incredible, kept them out. But if we'd have taken the lead, can you imagine what would have happened? Yeah, we would have shut up shop. I actually think we would have nicked it. I think we would have gone on to win that fucking game. Now, I might be delusional, but I think we defended well, clearly. United didn't score until the 92nd, 93rd minute. Can you imagine what would have happened if we took the lead? The panic, the frustration that would have crept in. I mean, their fans were already pissed off as it was. They didn't know whether they were coming or going. They didn't know what was going to happen. Can you imagine if Bruno squared it? And as sad as this sounds, Roy will remember, I went on TalkSport that night. I was driving back and I called up TalkSport because they were cussing our players. Who are these players? Who are these players? I still got on that fucking phone call and I said, we got internationals here. Don't disrespect us. We made Manchester United, the big bad Man United, have won the most Premier League titles. We made them look like dickheads. These internationals, they ain't farmers, they ain't plumbers. No disrespect to these people that got these jobs, but I'm just saying this is what big fans of big European clubs call the smaller teams. They're farmers, they're plumbers, they're electricians. Like that's a bad profession. Like most of these fans ain't fucking plumbers and farmers and shit. Go figure. I called them out. I said we got internationals. Show some respect. And to Jason Cundy's credit, to Jamie O'Hara's credit, he said, oh, well done. Safe. Yeah. I had to educate them. Like I keep having to educate people, especially in the UK when it comes to Cypriot football, and I'll continue doing it. Look at the Guffez Flares website, by the way. My recent write-up on Getspire. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, so what would have happened? And the sad thing about it was not just the fact that he didn't pull it back, not for the fact that we didn't take the lead, but for the fact that the moment he put it wide, the first thing I said was, I told you so. Because remember IL away from home? Remember that one last season? When people were saying to me, Stowe, you're out of order for calling out Bruno. Look at his stats. Look at the stats. He's our best goal scorer. Look at the stats. He's putting up numbers. I said, stats don't mean nothing to me. This player, nah. Bruno Mars. And weeks later, people were saying to me, you're just waiting for him to have a bad game so you can call him Bruno Mars. Well, who was right? Because my guy scored, 4 goals, 5 goals since joining Buffalo in January? Anyway, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm going to bring on Pedro because he's been sitting there waiting patiently. Patiently, like a little boy queuing up to go to the toilet. He's been holding it in. I wonder if he's had a shave, though. Let's go. Ah, he's had a shave. He looks 20 years younger. Now you look 40.
Do I have to start swearing now?
Do what you want, bro. It's therapy. I've got another half an hour, so the floor's yours.
No, I also remember you standing me up with Roy in Manchester and being total dicks about it. Yeah.
Standing you up?
Nah.
We didn't stand you up. You disappeared. You didn't even know where you were. You couldn't even tell me where you were. So what do you want me to do? Just start walking around Manchester? It's not fucking Left Garcia where 1 minute you're here, next minute you're there. It's Manchester. 1 minute here, next minute you're in Leeds.
And you were sitting like 3 chairs below me at the stadium. We discovered that in the end after viewing the clips.
Yeah.
Delia.
Tell me, what did you remember that day?
Well, I'm in a group with some other Omoniades, the gang that we call it. Which we have renamed this year to Shilaka on Tour. Last year it was Shilaka on European Tour.
Okay.
And of course, all of us were together at the game in Manchester. We all went together. We even took kits with us from Cyprus to the game. So it was Μόλις εξυπνήσαμε εχθές, the whole room was flooded with videos from that day. So it was good times.
Yeah,
good times.
Absolutely. But yeah, look, for me, obviously it's a different experience because I live in the UK. So seeing so many Omonoia fans in one place was incredible. Not in a stadium, obviously, outside of a stadium. But it was wild because, Roy went off for about 20 minutes. I couldn't find him. Next minute, he's talking to Mix Discarud's dad. It was wild. But yeah, it was nice, man. It was nice bumping into people, especially people that watch the show. Obviously, I don't know people's faces because I don't see them every day. So when they come up to me and say, oh, we watch the show, this and that, people from Canada, people from Germany, you're thinking these people have come abroad to England to watch Omonoia.
We had a friend in the group that came from New York.
It's mad.
He came from New York for the game.
See?
So you can imagine it was wild.
Well, look, if you want to go by the things that we've said in the past, how this club should be capitalizing on its reach from a marketing or branding perspective, your evidence is right there. Look how many fans traveled from various countries to watch Omonoia. So, look, I'm not here to shit on these guys and lament them for their work, etc., but the potential's there. And I just think that while other clubs have utilized their social media in an exceptional way, we should be doing the same, if not more, because we've got a bigger reach. It's not rocket science. And the fact is, you've got clubs that are doing better than us from a social media and branding perspective and marketing that have got not even 1/10 of our fan base, not even 1/20 of our fan base. So, look, this is an old subject that I'm touching on again, but there's your example. Yeah, there's your example. But it is what it is, and hopefully they'll get it right eventually. I'm not going to go into it again. But how have you been anyway, man? It's been a week since the Ayers game. Have you recovered?
Do you have to remind me about it?
Well, it's a segue. It's a segue.
Ας σου πω ότι ακόμα είμαι επηρεασμένος που το παιχνίδι με την Καλμιώτισσα.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that game touched me more.
I think because we were in total control of the Garmiodisa game. With the Ayers game, while we were winning, we weren't in control of the game. I think there's a difference. With Garmiodisa, I think we were 3-1 up at one point, and we were on the counter-attack, and players are literally walking. I'm not even exaggerating. They were literally walking. And I think that's why Biraksen says so much, because the game was in the bag. It should have been anyway. But there was a dribble and it got out.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Exactly. Do you know, I was on the Trifilara TV podcast the other day that I did the live watch along with Tom and Stefano. We were talking about we're doing the. Well, I jumped on near the end. Well, sorry, the second half of the Cyprus game against Norway, and we got on. Did you watch the whole thing?
No.
And we got on the subject of Sofroni because it ended up being a money discussion, and it dawned on me. Something dawned on me, which is quite concerning. And I'm gonna repeat myself for those that didn't watch it, because now I'm gonna be more articulate with it. Because that night, when it dawned on me, it was just coming out like gibberish. But when you think about it, all the victories that we've had under Sofroni, can you think of one game where you could say we were very, very convincing from start to finish, and he got it spot on from minute 1 to minute 90 or 98 or whatever long it is? Can you think of any games?
Φίλε, μπορώ να σου πω ότι τούτον ήταν το πρώτο παιχνίδι της χρονιάς με τη Σαλαμίνα. Ήταν σίγουρα τα δύο παιχνίδια του ημιτελικού με την Πάφο. Ήταν πολλά σωστός. Που μας οδήγησα στον τελικό κυπέλλου. Που και και πέρα, άμα βάλω και τον τελικό μέσα και υπολογίσω και τον τελικό, χειρίστηκε το πολλά σωστά, άμα με ξεχάνεις ότι ήμασταν και σε δύσκολη κατάσταση το παιχνίδι με την ΑΕΚ. Με το ΑΠΟΕΛ επίσης, δεν μπορώ να πω ότι δεν ήμασταν σωστοί. Το μόνο μου παράπονο που είχαμε το ΑΠΟΕΛ είναι ότι ίσως να πρέπει να κάνει λίγο πιο γλύωρα κάποιες αλλαγές στο δεύτερο ημίχρονο. Αλλά που και και πέρα, game-wise, we were not bad. Παιχνίδι με τον Άρη, πιστεύω, tactically, again, it was not bad.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to repeat what I said on that podcast, but in a more eloquent manner. His first official game was against Ari, where we lost 2-1. Karim scored the penalty. We weren't good. But you could say that was his first game. Second game, Aboyo in the cup. We lost 2-1. He was sent off. Third game, we beat Olympiago 1-0 away. That was when Besedin headed the ball down to Loizu and he scored. Again, we weren't anywhere as good as we should have been. But we got the victory. It wasn't convincing. We then lost to Apoel 2-0 in the league before beating them 2-0 in the cup. Now, the cup win, as great as it was for us, we needed a last-minute penalty to win the game. Okay?
No.
Smash and grab. But I'll give him the win. We beat Garmodisa 2-1 when Eustace scored a last-minute header. Then we had Apoel in the league, the 1-0 in the playoff. We lost to Apollon 3-1. We then beat Bafo, which was before the first leg of the cup, the 2-0 when Besedin scored. Again, I don't think Bafo had too much focus on that game, in all fairness. We drew with Bafo away with 10 men. We then lost 3-0 to Ari at home. We lost 2-0 to Aek away when he went 5 at the back. Played Zaharu at right wing back. Then we beat Bafo 3-1. And as you quite rightly said, it was a good win. But think about the manner in which we scored the goals. The second goal, Kasama's goal, took a big deflection. Humbo's goal came off his knee, where the defender tried to clear it and it hit him and it went in. We drew against Apoel next, which Uzoha had another game of his life, before losing to Apollon after we were winning. We then beat Bafo away with Lesiak's wonder strike. Again, it wasn't a great performance.
Ομιλώ τα παιχνίδια του κυπέλλου με την Bafo.
Right. Okay. But I'm getting there. We lost to Ari 1-0. Okay, we wanted to lose that game, to be fair. We wanted to lose that game. I'm sorry to say it, but we wanted to lose that game. Yeah? Then we played Isle in the final. It was a terrible final. It was a horrible final.
No.
One moment of magic at the end, last 5 minutes when Karim scored. It was Bash, Bezos, Fodi, Karim. One moment of magic. It wasn't convincing.
No.
The final game of the season, all right, season's done. We lost to Aek, Fodi's last game. Fine, I let it off. Forget the preseason games. They don't matter to me. But Ari in the Super Cup, not good enough. Gabala away, not good enough. 2 moments of magic from Bezos. Right? Gabala in the second leg, we battered them. Great. We beat Midtjylland next at home, the 1-0. And for me, that was the best. That was the best performance. 100%. He got it spot on from minute 1 to the end. Defensively, we were great. We kept them out clearly. We got the goal. Brilliant. But then came the second leg. And the moment Gusulo got sent off, game done. We beat Salamina, as you quite rightly said. We battered them. But let's not forget, when it was 11 versus 11, we were struggling. It was only when they got a man sent off, when we stepped up again, we battered them. It should have been more. Then you've got...
We battered them after they were left with 10 players, but we were not bad before that.
We weren't, but it wasn't...
Not bad.
It wasn't... You look at the 4-0 scoreline, you think we battered them, but it really wasn't a 4-0 scoreline with 11 versus 11. It wasn't going to be 4-0, 11 versus 11, right? Let's get this right, okay? Then we beat Apoel, again, a freak game, 9 versus 9, Buksan Agustien. We drew with Isle away from home, a game which I still think we should have won. Ari, we should have won that one as well. Again, no disrespect to Ari. They're the champions. We need to show them that respect. But this was a time where they were struggling. And we were winning in that game as well. And we almost lost it. Then we struggled to beat Doxa. We can't ignore that. And then Ayes. So out of all those games I've mentioned, out of all of those games, I can safely say that one game, he got it spot on from minute 1 to minute 90 without needing a stroke of luck or a stroke of genius. And this is why I've been extra concerned. Because I'll go back to what I said about Yannick. And again, people are going to slate me and they're going to say he wasn't good enough. But let's get it right. The moment he walked through the door, he was on a hiding to nothing because of his CV. They didn't rate him. But he won 3 out of his first 4 games, I think, before losing to Apoel. Yeah? We lost to Apoel and the knives were out, even though we had 10 men because Lang just... Anyway. After that, he won 7 out of the next 10 games. 7 out of the next 10 games. 2 of them were defeats. Anorthosi and Aek, and I think the other one was a draw. Can't remember. But it was the Anorthosi game that killed him. And what disappoints me most about it is that when you look back at the previous managers that we had, if you look at Berg, the players let him down. Lennon, I think Lennon let himself down more than the players. And if
big time.
If the manager is behaving a certain way, it's no surprise the players are like, I can't be bothered with this guy. Yeah.
Σίγουρα, 100%.
But they let Yannick down big time because, again, having spoken to various people, as far as I understand, his coaching sessions were incredible. They were incredible, right? And I just think that there are some coaches who are too good for this league. And I think he's on that level, much as the Saudi league, the second division in Saudi, right? He's too good for that league. And people can say, well, the results don't show. But listen, it doesn't matter about the results. What you got to remember is that the club did him dirty. Both clubs did him dirty. Our club and the club in Saudi did him dirty. I can tell you stories about the January transfer window under Yannick, which wouldn't help anyone right now because it's old news. But because I know what I know and what I've seen with my own eyes, I can say that had he been given the tools to do his job, we wouldn't be having this conversation about him now. Ifs, buts, and maybes, of course, right? We might not have won the cup. I'm not saying that we would have done. But I just think that people such as Yannick got unfair criticism because people didn't know the facts. But that's done. It's done.
Να σε ρωτήσω κάτι όμως πας σε τούτο.
Ναι.
Do you really think that we were playing convincing football under Yannick Ferreira?
No, I don't think we were. But there's a caveat to this. Think about when he joined us at the stage of the season when he joined us. There was no preseason. Okay.
No.
The clubs, everyone was demoralized completely. Yeah. We just lost to Salamina 2-1. It was horrible. Okay. The next game was Sociedad. Right. So I think that while the football wasn't convincing in people's eyes, I saw progress in terms of his tactical astuteness. I saw progress in how some players were improving technically. But the one problem that Yannick had, the main problem that he had from a playing perspective, a lot of the players weren't buying into his philosophy because he tried to do things different, much different to what these guys were used to. Okay? And that's the problem. The personnel and the people on the pitch didn't fall in line. They didn't want to. And that goes back to what many clubs suffer these days. And it's not just Omonoia, it's many clubs, even in the Premier League, where it's player power. If players do not like a head coach, they will down tools for him. That's what they will do. And I will tell you this for now, right? Do not be surprised if it happens to this guy as well. Now, I'm not saying that every player is culpable. But I think there is a core group of them that are so set in their ways, they're on autopilot and feel that because they have a reputation at the club, it supersedes any other head coach that comes in. They don't care about reputation anymore. You can bring in the best coach. You could bring in, as Yannick said, you could bring in Klopp, you could bring in Guardiola. Okay? But the fact is, if the players don't want to do what they're being told, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
Ρε φίλε, μα κάποιος παίχτης να μην κάνει εκείνο που του λέει ο προπονητής του, απλά να το πούμε έτσι στην Κυπριακή, για να φάει τον προπονητή. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is, the way you're calling it. Αν κάποιος παίχτης με τούτη την νοοτροπία για να φάει τον προπονητή, he's only doing harm to himself also. Because people are in the stands, they see.
Yeah, you say that, but they're not doing harm to themselves if they've got a long-term contract. They're not doing harm to themselves if they've got a couple years left on their contract.
Ρε φίλε, no one can guarantee them that the next coach is going to keep them there. No one.
I agree.
No one.
I agree. But at the same time, it makes you wonder how some players get away with murder. I'm not going to mention names. But I think you and I, listen, I think you know what I'm talking about here because you and I have had these discussions off camera.
No.
But I think there are players that are very set in their ways and very comfortable for whatever reason. Now, whether they've been given assurances from people at the top, I don't know. Maybe in the past they were. Maybe they've got some kind of I wouldn't say power, but some kind of grip on a situation whereby they can hide behind all of their misgivings on the pitch. I don't know.
Or
But at the
off the
same
pitch.
time, it's important that whoever's in charge has total control and total autonomy as to what happens in and around the club from a playing perspective. You cannot have situations whereby, and this has happened at other clubs, especially in England. Even Danny Rose was a perfect one at Spurs. When Mourinho said, "I'm not playing you," what did he do? Instead of taking it like a man and working hard, he went straight to the chairman. Now, if that happens in England, what's to say it doesn't happen in Cyprus?
Sicuro.
These are cold, hard facts.
Βέβαια. Έτσι πάει.
So while I can sit here and be critical of Sofroni in terms of his tactical methods and in terms of various other things, I can't be critical of him when players are missing from 6 yards out or failing to hit the ball first time. That's my argument.
Να σου πω ρε φίλε, όσον και να το αναλύσουμε εμείς το πράγμα, δεν και να βγάλουμε ένα αποτέλεσμα. Είναι το μόνο σίγουρο να... Μπορεί να ξέρουμε κάποια πράγματα, αλλά ό,τι και να ξέρουμε, έχει και πολλά που δεν ξέρουμε. We're not on that training pitch. We're not on that training pitch to know what's going on.
Well, look, there's a comment here from Mario. Sofroni has the cojones to drop players when they aren't performing. That's where the others lacked. Well, I would agree to disagree on this one. Because there are still some players that he should drop, and he hasn't dropped them. And the only time he has dropped them, in inverted commas, is when they've been tired. There have been some players that have been going through the motions, and they're still being selected left, right, and centre. Managers have their favourites. This is a fact. Okay, whether you like it or not, whether you want to like it or not, managers have their favourites.
Only.
Okay.
Only.
Just look at the head coach of the national team as a perfect example. I don't want to go into this again, but when I hear Correa being better than Bilea, it's unacceptable. But why did he select Correa? Because Correa he can trust. But he can't trust the best left back that we have. So there you go. There you go.
Τώρα θέλεις να μιλήσουμε για εκείνο το θέμα. It's not going to be a therapy. It's going to be a hit me on the head with a bat podcast. Hit me on conscience.
Well, listen, this is why we're here. This is why we're here. This is why we're doing it, in all fairness. So I don't have a problem with people having their opinions on this one. When you listen to players where there's a hierarchy, this is on them. I agree. But at the same time, it goes back to what I said. How do some players have more power than head coaches? As I said, it's not just happening here. It happens everywhere. It happens at various clubs. I'll give you a perfect example, and this is from what I know myself. Look at Man United. There was an internal battle between Jose Mourinho and Paul Pogba. Who won that battle? Paul Pogba. Why? Because Ed Woodward, the CEO at the time, had brought Pogba in. Mourinho didn't want him, but he brought Pogba in. And because Pogba was the cash cow, the brand ambassador, Adidas, etc. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sack the manager that's going to cost you 14, 15 million? Or are you going to sell the guy that you spent 90 million on? So Pogba won, which was the wrong decision because Mourinho should have won. Mourinho's the head coach. Mourinho had won more in football than Paul Pogba did as a player, right? So Mourinho, the manager, won more than Pogba did as a player. And he knew how to win trophies. He didn't give a fuck, did he? He did not give a fuck.
No.
But again, player power. That's effectively what it is. Still, which players should you not? I'm not gonna mention names. I'm not gonna do it because by doing that, I'm only adding fuel to a fire that it doesn't need to go higher. To be honest, right now it's all calm at the club. I don't want to stir the pot. I don't want to, but I'm just giving you guys my opinion. I say I'm going to keep these things to myself. If and when these players do leave, I will say, yeah, they should have gone a long time ago. That's all I'm going to do. But for now, I'm not saying anything because, again, I don't want to be a shit stirrer. I don't want to cause any problems. And this is just a therapy session for us to have a general conversation about things. George, I'm not bringing up your comment, bro. I'm not bringing it up. I am not bringing up your comment. I've acknowledged it. by talking about it, or should I say bringing it up here, but that's it. Players having more power than the manager is on the football direction because it's easier to fire one than... Well, this is it. That's precisely it. It's precisely it. It's easier to sack one manager and pay them out the rest of their contract, whether it be for a year or 2 years, than get rid of a player that's on more money than a coach. Because let's get it right. You need to buy out the player's contract if you want to cancel it. Look at ANTROPI at the moment. They can't get rid of 2 players. And to get rid of them is going to cost them almost $500,000 that they don't have.
Yeah.
So, with our club being, 9 million euros in debt, Gadetsi, it's not feasible to be sacking players or breaking their contracts if they're not playing well. And some of them have been playing badly, consistently for the past 2.5 years.
Yes.
And let's get it right.
That's true. And c'è un tipo di mistico,
No, it's not, but people don't mention it on camera. They do it on forums and everything, but people don't want to put their balls on the table. I'm not putting my balls on the table with the names. I'm just saying. I'm keeping them in my pants this time, my guy. Thanks for amplifying my message by causing strides in the fact. Oh, Georgie. Well, look, I don't want to go on for too long, man, but I've got the link up here. If you guys want to jump on, feel free to jump on. Let's do another 10-15 minutes because I think you haven't said much, bro. I've been doing all the talking, Bemel.
No, εγώ νομίζω ότι ξέρεις να πω για μπελάρα να γυράσουμε λίγο για ο Κέλλιν εχθές, ρε.
Bro, I don't know your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts.
Να πει τα thoughts, ρε, που είδαμε ακόμα μια εθνική τραγωδία, ρε, φίλε. Που έχει έναν άνθρωπο που he's playing football from the Middle Ages, γάμω το κερατό μου. What can you say? He's playing football from the Middle Ages.
I think, look, I don't think the fault lies solely with him. He's got to take a lot of the blame. But it goes back to what I said before. It's the people at the top. And when you have the head of the Football Association under investigation from the Ethics Committee, that tells you all you need to know about the situation. But yet, he's still managing to wrangle sponsorship deals with betting companies, with supermarkets. And let's get it right. He's best friends with the head of UEFA. So what are the chances of this guy actually facing any consequences, if he is guilty, that is?
Τίποτε, ρε. Τίποτε θα γίνει, ρε. Τίποτε θα γίνει. It's going to disappear in the drawers. Like it always happens because it's in Cyprus.
Well, what about the elections then that happened a few months ago when his nearest candidate or the nearest contender
got threatened?
Two of his players got banned for life for alleged match fixing. And then it went to an appeal and they just said, oh, sorry, we got it wrong. You're not match fixing. You're just shit.
Omonoia, the teams that in the beginning were going to support him to be like for an election, in the end withdrew their support towards him because they were scared about it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, look, we have a debutant, Haris Galoston.
Hi guys.
Hi, Philip.
Genuka Fatsa, re Steglio. Genuka Fatsa.
Yeah, bring them on.
First of all, thanks for giving us the opportunity. Really good what you're doing. I have to say that I've been following the podcast for a long time, so it's been refreshing actually to hear your views, guys. So yeah, it's not like the typical stuff that you hear on the radio or on any other podcast. But anyway,
no comment. Santo Mourinho, if I speak, I'll be in big trouble.
Yeah, it's a niche podcast, but yeah, I'm happy to see it growing over the time. So yeah,
thank you, Phil. Appreciate your support, man.
Yeah.
So tell us, bro. Tell us.
Είμαστε και λίγο την εντύπωση σου έτσι για πώς βλέπεις τα πράγματα στην ομάδα, ρε Χάρη.
I'll just, at first, I guess I'll go back to the Manchester United game a year ago. I was there as well on the field. I just remember actually vividly the moment that Bruno just took the shot instead of passing to Kakulis, because he was just opposite us, Kakulis, and you could see he could definitely get a chance to score. The chance was, I think, quite high. So I've regretted that moment. It was big time. I mean, I think that was the best moment that we had in the game. But yeah, I think the whole feeling of that game was really good. The team was quite compact. They defended well. Yeah, and obviously you won't get a lot of chances on these games. So the chances that you get, you need to take them and turn them into goals, right? Just generally, yeah. Going back to the last season first, I think we'll play quite well in the European games. The mentality was there. However, once you turn into the Prodathima, I think something went wrong there, and then they just flopped completely. So you can see like players like, I don't know, the defenders like Lang or Miledic, they perform quite solidly on the European games, but then when it comes to the league, I think they just drop the ball. I don't know why. Particularly even Lang, if you see him playing with his national team, he's quite good, isn't he? But when something goes wrong once they start playing in Prodathima for some reason.
Philip, I think it's no coincidence that Lang plays well for his national team because they have 3 central defenders. He has 2 covering. So when he does make a mistake, there's always someone there to clean up for him. With us, it's always 2 defenders. Oh, I think he's gone. He's gone, isn't he? Okay. Well, when he jumps on, we'll bring him back on for sure. But there's someone that's been sticking his tongue out for a while. There he is.
Hello, boys.
Entresa mutrasu.
Βλέπω και κάντε γλώσσα μου να δω με φέρετε σίγουρα επειδή ευκάλλε μου λένε ότι only host can see you και μου στιάσει τώρα βλέπουμε αν κάνω φάτσις και θέλω να πέτρω μου γελά.
Στέλ, φκάτσω το Χάριν πάνω. Τούτος είναι και ευτήρες ρε, τον ήθελες παιχνίδι του λένε του συνοικία. Και ευτήρες. Είναι και ο Χάριν που μιλώ, και ο Κυριάκο που μιλώ.
Κυριάκο, man, you're killing us. You're killing us. Fucking hell. Listen, before you have to say what you got to say, I didn't, Harry. Carry on, man. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, Harry, carry on.
No, I guess, yeah, going back to this year, obviously. I'll start with your, let's say, comment a bit of Yannick's period or thing. I mean, he was okay, but then I think he couldn't win the big games for some reason. So I don't know what was happening there. For example, with Anorthos, as you mentioned, which wasn't that hard, to be honest. Maybe it was a good change to bring Sofronis in, but then, yeah, I think we're missing like characters in the team, like a leader. We had Jordi before, so it was like a bit of the glue of the team. You could try to bring the players up and then manage them well. But then after all these like more senior players, we released them. We didn't have like a real captain that could, let's say, orchestrate the team and carry it on their shoulders, for example, when their times are tough. If that makes sense.
But if you think about it now, which leaders do we have?
Bezos is trying.
But leader, we're talking leader, captain. Yeah?
Kushu has that mentality.
He has, but he has to learn, I think. He has to learn more.
You have to have more than just passion, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I don't want to be that guy, but he doesn't seem to be the same player as what he was, which is understandable because of the injury. I understand it. I'd like to play 6 or 7 games in a row. Don't forget he played for the Ethnigi as well in between those games, right? The rotation wasn't there. And I think we suffered as a result. Theoro, that's my opinion. But Listen, I don't think there's enough leaders in the squad, but this is a problem that we had before, right? It was only when we had people like Huber-Chan, Jordi Gomez, Lufna, because I could tell you stories that I've been told by certain players that aren't at the club anymore, that there will be some youngsters or some players. Like, for example, after the Olympiacos game, when we lost 1-0, the year we won the league, I think it was at the Magario, when, who was the right back at the time?
Manrique scored.
Bravo. Right, Mavria, when he missed him at the back stick. I know at the full time, there were some young players, I'm not going to mention names, that they were laughing and joking at full time. And there were some players that grabbed them by the lemur and said, stop fucking about, because this ain't a joke. So again, it goes back to the leaders. A la Dora, when we lose games, what happens in the dressing room? Obviously, I don't know. We don't know. But are there people there that are there, come on, let's move it on. Let's carry on. I don't know.
Εντάξει, οι ηλικίες όμως ότι με αγάπης που πιάνουν όλες νεαρές ηλικίες και καλές ηλικίες δεν έχουμε και πολλούς μεγάλους παίκτες να μεγάλες προσωπικότητες. Αν το προσέξετε. We know the age.
Yeah. But when you look at the older players, Salzburg Don Fabi is a goalkeeper. What's he going to do? Yeah. Karim doesn't play regularly. So who else is there?
Lejax is 31. But it's not a leader.
Νομίζεις τώρα ότι ο Λέζιαξ είναι άτομο το οποίο μπορεί να επηρεάσει κάποιον παίχτη να αυξήσει την παραγωγή του στο γήπεδο τώρα?
Πολύ μπορεί να μπαίνει στη σκάλα να παρεύκουσει.
Ναι, να το μάθει twerking μπορεί. Όχι να αποδώσει στο γήπεδο.
Ακόμα θυμίζει μου ότι η φάση του με διαρρές ήταν μιλώς εμετική. Ήμουν μες στο γήπεδο και θέλω να μου πιάω του σκόπωξο μου, εφράνασα του, φύγε μόνος σου από γήπεδο. Φύγε μόνος σου. Χρειάζεται καμία αλλαγή.
Είσαι και είσαι και καραόλος, επομένως...
Όχι, εγώ είπα το. Εγώ είναι καραόλος που αρούσα το με διαρρές ότι είχαμε και πολλά θετικά και πολλά αρνητικά. Σκέφτω. Να έχουμε να πω και θετικά στο παιχνίδι.
Χάρη, πες μου εσύ, είναι το σωριστήνο παδάφερος τώρα.
Εγώ, εντάξει, επιθετικά είμαστε πολλά καλοί σε σύγκριση με τα προηγούμενα 2 χρόνια. Έχουμε και παραπάνω γκολ, νομίζω και παραπάνω βαθμούς. Εντάξει, αμυντικά κάπου χάνουμε. Αν δεν το βελτιώσουμε σύντομα, να έχουμε μεγάλο πρόβλημα, νομίζω.
Να σας το πω ότι αμυντικά ως πριν το παιχνίδι του Άρη με την ανορθώση ήμασταν οι μόνοι που έφαγε 10 γκολ που την πρώτη εξάδα. Μετά την ήττα της ανόρθωσης εκόντεψε μας ως που την πρώτη εξάδα χειρότερη αμυντικά. Τώρα όσον αφορά τα τέρματα υπέρ, ναι, είμαστε εμείς μπροστά.
Είμαστε top, έχουμε και όλα γκολ.
Είμαστε εμείς μπροστά με τέρματα υπέρ. Αλλά τούτο μου σημαίνει τίποτε. Γιατί έβαλα 4 της Σαλαμίνας που έπαιξαν και με 10 παίχτες. Έβαλα 3 της Καρμιώτισσας και έβαλα και 3 του Ζακατζού. Εντάξει, άμα υπολογίσω τούτα 3 τα παιχνίδια... Ναι ρε φίλε, αλλά άμα υπολογίσω ότι τα πόσα, 4...
3, 6...
Τα 10 τέρματα που έβαλα από τα 17 νομίζω έβαλαμε 17 τέρματα τώρα συνολικά.
Ναι, 17.
17?
Ναι, 17 με 10 είμαστε.
Έβαλαμε 17 τέρματα. Εάν τα 10 έβαλα τα μόνο σε 3 ομάδες, που έτσι αγιώς δεν πρέπει να τους τα βάλω. Έπρεπε να τους τα βάλω. Δεν δέχομαι ότι δεν μπορώ να βάλω 3 τέρματα του Ζακατζού και 3 τέρματα της Καρμιώτισσας. Και να έχω τα δεδομένα ότι πρέπει να τους βάλεις μίνιμουμ 3 τέρματα. Επομένως, δεν είμαστε και... Εντάξει, βάλουμε... Το χειρότερο είναι ότι κάνουμε ευκαιρίες και δεν τα βάλουμε. Τώρα έπρεπε να είχαμε 25-26 τέρματα αν υπολογίσω τις ευκαιρίες που έκαμε η ομάδα σε όλα τα παιχνίδια. Σε όλα τα παιχνίδια γενικά. Έπρεπε να είμαστε πάνω στα 25 τέρματα τώρα. Αν είμαστε στα 25 τέρματα, θα πω ναι, μπροστά είμαστε φωτιά. Αλλά αν είμαστε. Είμαστε στα 17. Και να πω και λίγο, επειδή δεν το συζητήσαμε ποτέ το Ρέστερ, είναι κάτι που το μιλάς πολλά εσύ, ότι έχεις το πολλά με την αμυντική παρουσία της ομάδας. Ναι, να το δεχτώ ότι η αμυντική μας λειτουργία δεν φάνηκε να είναι και η καλύτερη. Αλλά τα ευλογημένα. Μάπα έτσι που είναι πιο εκτεθειμένη για να μπει τέρμα από την αντίπαλη ομάδα είναι η αμυντική γραμμή. Τώρα, αν είναι λάθη, ας πούμε, όπως για παράδειγμα το προχτεσινό που δεν μπήκε τέρμα, αλλά έπασαν πίσω από το κέντρο του γηπέδου ο Λέσιαξ και έφυγε ο Φαπιάνο και έκαμε το τέτα-τέτ. Και ναι, ένα αμυντικό λάθος. Και ένα αμυντικό γκρέμασμα. Πρέπει να πιέσεις να δείσεις με σινήν και να στείλεις το κάπου κάτω. Αλλά δεν είναι όλα. Εντάξει, οκ. Αν είναι μαρκαρίσματα όμως, δεν μπορούμε να τους κατηγορούμε και κάθε φορά, επειδή έφυγαν τους ένα μαρκάρισμα.
Γιατί?
Στο Παναγιώτου με την κινήτα μιλούμε...
Να σου πω γιατί.
Την κινήτα, η τρίπλα του...
Να σου πω πώς το εννοώ το γιατί. Γιατί πάντα να βρεθεί κάποιος ο οποίος ο παίχτης που είναι αντίπαλος στον αμυντικό είναι καλύτερος του ρε φίλε. Να κάνουμε και την καλύτερη κίνηση. Δεν μπορείς ότι μπορεί ένας αμυντικός, όπως και ένας επιθετικός, έβαλει όλα τα τέρματα που πιάνει την ευκαιρία. Το ίδιο και ένας αμυντικός δεν μπορεί να κόψει όλες τις φάσεις. From that point of view.
I agree. But what I will say is, under Berg, we didn't concede many goals, especially in the season that we won the league. I think I said Fabi had, 15, 16 clean sheets?
Ναι, θυμούμαι ρε φίλε, αλλά θυμούμαι επίσης ότι έβαλαμε ένα τέρμα που έδερναμε.
Right, okay. But the reason why we kept so many clean sheets is that not only because we were good defensively, everyone knew what they had to do. The midfield supported the defense. The attackers supported the midfield. Okay. Now, the goals that we've conceded this season, and I'm sure we spoke about this the other day, aside from Ephraim's free kick for Abuel, all the other goals, and this is a fact, go and check up, look at the goals.
Oh, συμφωνώ.
Every single goal that we've conceded, apart from the free kick, have been from individual mistakes. It hasn't been a moment of brilliance where he's taken 3 players on or taken a shot from 50 yards or whatever. The goals that we've conceded, just look at the goals against Ayers at the weekend. The 2 goals from outside the box, Castro had 10 yards between him and the nearest man. The other goal, when the ball came across and Militic wasn't marking the striker who headed it into an open space, right? You could build a piscina in that space. Right? Being serious.
Ναι, ξέρω το, έχεις δίκιο.
So it's the basics. It's just the basics that they're doing wrong, Phila. And this is the problem. This is my concern. It's not that, you know, we're being beaten by moments of brilliance. We're being beaten or we're conceding goals in the manner you would expect to see in the 3rd division. Or the δεύτερη κατηγορία. These are 2nd, 3rd division quality defending. You know, and maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe I watch too much football. I'm thinking that our players can defend as well because the standard of defending in other leagues is just as bad. But when I see the type of goals that we concede, this is unacceptable. And yes, you can blame the defensive line. You can, but you also have to blame the wingers that perhaps aren't tracking runs. You can blame the central midfielders that aren't protecting in front of the defenders. You can even blame the goalkeeper. I'm sorry, Fabi has been culpable for a few goals this season. Okay? And we need to be fair. Okay? I love him. Right, but don't forget, people wanted Francis. Did you see the mistake that he made for Nigeria the other day?
Oh my God, I saw it.
Right.
What the fuck?
So,
I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is doing?
So before people start talking about Fabi making mistakes, this guy comes in for his first game in how long, and he does that. So, Ade, come on, let's be real. But look, I think for me, it isn't just the defense that's a problem. Quite right, as you said before, Pedro, the amount of careers that we have. You know, Ibasu Borges, 84 minutes, we're 3-2 down against Ayers. I'm thinking, I'm still not worried. We're going to have at least Bendexi chances.
No.
Right? And we did. We did.
No.
So, again, is this a coaching thing? How is it? Is this a coaching thing? Or is it just the players? Τώρα.
Ρε φίλε, άμα βλέπω κάποιες να μας πούν τα παιδιά, να μην πω εγώ, να μας πει ο Χάρης πρώτα.
Κοίταξε, με τον Berg, it was like a well-oiled machine, right? Everyone was covering everyone. You could take one player out, you could sub it with another one, you wouldn't see a difference, right? You didn't have this uniqueness. You didn't rely, let's say, on moments on players to take us out of the shitstorm, like now, for example, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a balance, I guess. You have to work as a team. I think we're not working enough as a team now. I think we are not covering each other's back now, and it's a bit more disorganized, the game. Maybe actually in the first 20 minutes where actually put the foot on the pedal from what I've seen on the pro athlete matches, but then after that we slow down and then we just get a bit disoriented for some reason, and we need like some conceding goal to wake us up for a bit, just for a spark of brilliance from someone else, and then just go down again, and then just
start. Although look, what I will say, and again this is me being fair, since Sophronia's come in, when we have gone a goal down, they haven't stopped going like they did with Ferreira and Lennon, and to some extent Berg. They have kept going.
Μεγάλη διαφορά τούτο.
I will give him that, but, and there's another but, right? And again, this is me being negative Nelly here, right? Bosses Flores, am I going to see the centre back or the right back or the left back look on the left-hand side and just smash the ball 40 yards, 50 yards to Semedo and hope that he can do something with it? Because we've seen it a lot. I've seen it a lot anyway. I don't know about everyone else, but it happens so many times. Where is the plan A, the plan B, the plan C, the plan D? Right? All the coaches have that, or they should anyway.
Στέλ, να σου πω, τούτο που είπες τώρα, ας πούμε, παρατήρησα το πολλά παραπάνω στο μάτς με τον Άρη και στο μάτς με τον Ζαγκάτζη. Που και με δικαιολογώ το. Δικαιολογώ το γιατί ξέρεις και εσύ ότι η άμυνα του Άρη είναι καλή προς το παρόν. Επομένως, άμα κάνεις bypass στο κέντρο τους και βρεθείς με τη μάπα στα πόθηκια σου αμέσως στην αμυντική γραμμή, έχεις παραπάνω chance να τους βάλεις γκολ. Επομένως, καταλάβω το για εκείνο το παιχνίδι και καταλάβω και με τον Ζαγκάτζη είναι χτες, γιατί ούτε πηδούν να πιάσουν κεφαγιά, ούτε να κάνουν sliding tackle για να κλέψουν τη μάπα η αμυντική. Επομένως, ναι, σε τότε τα παιχνίδια, ναι, να το γυρέψω, να το κάνουν τότε μπαγιές συνέχεια, να τον εύρω, για να τους πιάει στην άμυνα.
Λόγω της ταχύτητας τους δεν θα πλαγιοποιήσει.
Λόγω της ταχύτητας και πλαγιοποιήσει. Αλλά που για μένα πέρα στα άλλα παιχνίδια, ας πούμε με την ΑΕΛ, δεν το είδα το πράγμα, ρε φίλε.
Με την ΑΕΛ,
από τα πλευρά.
It happened.
Ότι να γίνει, ρε φίλε, να γίνει, αλλά όχι στον αριθμό που έγινε στο παιχνίδι με τον Άρη και στο παιχνίδι με τον Ζαγκάτζη.
It depends on the games, I think.
Ναι, και με το Αποέλ το είδαμε έτσι πολλά.
The way our opposite is playing.
There weren't any players to do that with the Apoel game. I'm not even joking, because the referees ruined the rhythm of the game. Any tactic wouldn't have been consistent. Allah, that long ball over the top works against teams that play a high line. Okay, because you get it in behind. It's standard. You don't need to be a rocket scientist, right? Allah, my issue here, right, is I'm expecting more from my midfielders. Okay. There are many occasions where Bash will come in as the third centre-back, which I've got no problem with because he's protecting. Allah, his central midfielder, is like a Bendemetra in front of him. And there's two central midfielders on one. You're waiting for your Degari to drop deep to support the Okhtari, and that doesn't happen. No. Why? Because we have Semedo all the way up front, Simic all the way up front, Matthews and Lesiax or Cipriano as left wingers, and they're pushing, but no one is coming deeper to offer support. So what happens? You got to go long, but then you have 4 defenders here and 4 defenders in front of them. And there's nothing, it's static. They stand still, like they're like statues. And this is what I'm saying. I try and I'm not trying to pontificate or educate people. I just want people to understand that if you want to pass the ball short, 5-6 yards, players need to be closer. And we're seeing Rames, Vega Bendemetra, people with that distance away from each other. You can't play that way. So the only way you can go is long, high balls. And we don't have players. Can Gaguli win the ball in the air? He can't. He can't win headers. Karim, I don't see him doing that much. Semedo, okay, he's waiting for the ball to come down to control it, whatever. Simic is this tall, right? And don't get me started on him. I saw 6 times against Ayers. He's running down the wing. Jagirizi Biso. To put it on his left foot. Yati.
Because there's no plan.
But it's like I said, it's basics. It's basics. If you watch the analysis I did, right? It's on the members area. There's one stage, we're on the counter attack. It's 4 versus 3. We have 4 going forward. They've got 3 defenders. Gaguli gets the ball. He's got no support. So he turns back and he plays it all the way back to Pana, 50 yards.
No.
I'm not even joking. It's there.
Neither.
I'm not joking. It's there.
I remember those.
But why did he do that? The people that were running with him weren't supporting. They run in a straight line like a crab. Brosta, bison, brosta. They don't go across each other. They don't make... There's no movement. Yafton, I keep complaining about the style of play because we have the players to play it, but either they don't know how to do it or the coach doesn't know what to do. So which one is it?
Κάτι που είδα λάθος επιθετικά. Να μου πείτε και εσείς παιδιά συμφωνείτε. Είδα πολύ εγωισμό που κάποιους παίχτες μας.
Ειδικά πήγαμε.
Άμα για τελειώσω ρε καρκανή καβλέσουνοι. Ειδικά το ότι όλοι θέλουν να βάλουν γκολ. Εμεί σκέφτονται ότι κάποιος συμπαίχτης μπορεί να είναι εξημαρκάριστος. Ο Σεμέδο, η πρώτη δένεια να μπω μέσα να το τελειώσω. Ο Κακουλής, να μπω μέσα να το τελειώσω. Δεν μπορώ να καταλάβω γιατί το πράγμα. Δεν μπορώ να καταλάβω γιατί εμπασάρουν δεξιά και αριστερά. Θυμάσαι που το είπα Ρεστέλ που κάναμε το review ύστερα από το παιχνίδι. Μήπως εν τούτη η κατάσταση που δεν έχει εμπιστοσύνη ο ένας στον άλλον ότι μπορεί να τελειώσει τη φάση.
Shall I tell you what it is? And I'll let the guys talk because I've said too much, but I think they panic. They panic because they're scared that if they do play a side pass to a teammate in the box, they're either worried that the opponents will get back in time or they don't trust their teammate to score.
Εν τούτο που σου είπα, ότι δεν έχουν εμπιστοσύνη. Εσείς να μου νομίζετε, παιδιά. Άρα είπε μας εσύ πρώτα. Άχι τον Κυριακό.
Δεν ξέρω καν επιθέσεις. Εγώ νομίζω, ας σας πω άλλο πρόβλημα που θέλω εγώ. Έχουμε πολλούς μέσους και δεν ξέρουμε ποιοι παίζουν σταθερά. Αλλάσουμε κάθε παιχνίδι μέσους και νομίζω τούτο μπορεί να... What's that said? You don't trust them because you don't know who will cover your back so you can feel more free to go in front and then just do some 1-2 passes with someone else. So it's not like, for example, you have Jordi and Vidor and you know like they are solid there. So people could go more in front because they could fall back on them if let's say we had a counter attack or something like that. Now I think there's not like a clear vision of what's going on in the center, and I think that affects the offense as well. To be honest.
Να πω σε τούτο ότι νομίζω ότι φέτος το κέντρο μας είναι το μόνο σημείο που δεν ήβραμε μια σταθερότητα στο πιο δίδυμο να παίξει στο κέντρο του γηπέδου. Που τη μια είσαι στον Μπάς, που υπολογίζεις ότι πάντα είναι ο Μπάς, και ύστερα έρθει ο Μπάς και φάνε την τιμωρία να μείνει δύο αγώνες έξω. Στους δύο αγώνες που έμεινε έξω ο Μπάς, αλλάξαν 4 άτομα στην ίδια θέση. Ύστερα βάλεις τον, έρχεται πίσω ο Μπάς, παίζει με τον Φρασό. Κάνεις τον Φρασό, Ποιον να βάλεις τον Κασάμα, να βάλεις το έβαλεν το Χάμπο, ναι. Αλλά και αν έχεις πλέον, έχεις Κασάμα, έχεις Μπασιρού, έχεις Χάμπο, έχεις Φρανσόν, έχεις και Κουσουλόν, έχεις άλλον, ρε.
Ο Μπεζούς.
Έχεις και ο Μπεζούς.
Εντάξει, ο Μπεζούς είναι το δεκάρις.
Ο Μπεζούς είναι πιο προωθημένος. Ο Μπεζούς είναι πιο προωθημένος. Έχει κανέναν άλλον που εξήγασαρεστε.
Όχι εν τούτη. Μέση.
Irakovic, but he's injured.
Ναι, γι' αυτόν δεν τον είπα τον Irakovic. Βασικά έχουμε 6 παίχτες για το κέντρο του γηπέδου.
Too crowded.
Too crowded. Πρέπει να αποφασίσουν τους πιο βασικούς του κέντρου να παίξουν συνεχόμενα παιχνίδια μαζί για να πιάνουν και μια συνοχή μεταξύ τους, να βρεθεί το ideal couple, να το πω έτσι, του κέντρου.
But the same applies with the defense.
Ακριβώς. Έπιαν το ποστρόν. But
this is it. You know that at least one out of those 4 defenders are going to be guaranteed, and that's Matthews. He's the only one out of the 4 that's guaranteed. The other 3, it could be anyone. It could be Militic, it could be Lang, it could be Pana, it could be Koulibaly, it could be Cipriano, it could be Lesiaks. Well, yeah, I said Matthews is the guarantee. So it's Matthews plus 3. We shouldn't have that option. It should be either all 4 or 3 plus 1. Yeah? We should have at least 3 defenders that are guaranteed to play. Aladora, I can't tell you that. I can't guess who's going to be centre back against Buffon next. I can't tell you. Is it going to be Militic because he played in the friendly the other day, which we lost? Yeah. Is it going to be Cipriano? But given the way that Cipriano was at fault for Othello's second goal, if you watch Othello's second goal, it was tragic defending from Cipriano again. So you can't trust him to defend. But can you trust Lesiaks?
No. I trust Cipriano. I'm sorry, but I trust Cipriano more than Lesiaks. I would rather take the fool I don't know than the fool that I already know for the last 3 years.
Well, this is it. So what do you do then? If you don't trust any of your left backs, what do you do? Do you go 3 at the back? Do you go 3 centre backs? And then play 2 wing backs? You put who'd you put at wing back? Do you put Zahario at left wing back? Do you put Simic? Do you put I don't know. So if you can't trust your left back, so it's going to be 3 defenders plus 1 left back. But then you need to decide who your 3 defenders are. Matthews, Pana, Militic. They're your 3 best defenders, and then you go with any one of the 2 that are just fucking whether they're there, or just put Matthews at left back and put Psati at right back. But for the most part, and this is a fact, you can look at all the statistics that you want, right? Let's just say since Berg till now, the most effective side of the field that we've had is the left-hand side. The most effective side. It's always been the left-hand side. Whether it be Lesiaks, whether it be Gitso, whether it be Semedo, whether it be Bruno, Thiago. It's always been that left-hand side. That right-hand side has been neglected. Since Mavria and Botiak, we haven't had a right-hand side. And we need to have that.
Orhun Mavrias.
Orhun Mavrias. Γιατί ο Χουμπότσαν ήταν λίγος παίχτης, δεν κατάλαβα.
Βάλουν το στιακή μόνο στον τέπεθιο, το ΑΠΟΕΛ.
Θυμούμε την πρώτη παρουσία του Χουμπότσαν. Ήταν στο τέπη ΑΠΟΕΛ Ομόνια. Και ξεκινά την εντεκάδα και βλέπουμε Χουμπότσαν. Ποιος είναι ποντούτος. Να ποντούτος. Βάλουν τον τώρα μέσα, ποιος είναι ποντούτος. Ακόμα είναι παίξε μαπά. Ήταν ο καλύτερος παίχτης μες στο γήπεδο. Experience.
Yeah, and he was regressing for a long time and making mistake after mistake. But I'll tell you what, the one game where he stood up and he was our main guy, the final against Ethnigo, when he came on, he was...
At least he was.
Up there, bro. Like, he was up. All that experience, it came out on that pitch. And he held us together that day. Don't care what anyone says. Don't care what anyone says. So, I don't know. But look, boys, before we wrap it up, because we've done over an hour, fucking hell. January's coming. January is just around the corner. And I know people are going to be talking about this. So my question to you guys is, are we going to get a striker? Non abbiamo in center for.
Εγώ στείλω τον JJ μες στο goal and roll. Εγώ κουμπάρει ευκαιρίες του αγουλή. Θέλω το θετικό. Αν τα μαστρώ αγουλή δεν μπορεί να γίνει δηλαδή. Να παίζει μόνο στο Καρίμ και ο Θεός βοηθός.
We need to look for more Cypriotic players.
Εντάξει πέντω ότι who knows δηλαδή μπορεί να πιέσει από το κυπαγή αγορά. Πάει και ο Μαρολίας βοηθό.
And also, but from what he said in that εκπομπή, I think he's got a lot of faith in Amu. I think he's got a lot of faith in him.
Έτσι φαίνεται, ρε Στέλ. Έτσι φαίνεται ότι έχει του πάρα πολύ εμπιστοσύνη και κάμε μας και πάντα περιμένουμε να το δούμε μες στο γήπεδο. Τι έχει να δείξει τόσο Αμό. Ο Αμό παίζει δεξιά και αριστερά, ρε Στέλ. Παίζει και δεξιά και αριστερά.
Yeah, and Degari as well. Can play the 10.
Όχι, νομίζω από ό,τι είδα μια συνέντευξη του, να θυμούμε καλά, είπε ότι προτιμά να παίζει δεξιά ή αριστερά. Η αγαπημένη του θέση δεξιά. Και ενώ Σίμιτς που είπε ότι παίζει και δεξιά και αριστερά και κέντρο, αλλά προτιμά να παίζει κέντρο.
Ναι, και συνήθως παίζει αριστερά ο Σίμιτς, βάλουν τον μόνο δεξιά.
Ναι.
Τα δεξιά ήταν η least θέση που παίζει.
Ναι, ότι δεξιά ήταν η least favorable θέση για εκείνον να παίξει. Και παίζει μόνο δεξιά.
Well, look, boys, I'll be honest with you. I said this on the show the other day on This Is Mappa, and I think that Marquez at Apollon is sensational. He is different class, man. Different class.
Hat-trick hero.
Yeah, Givrandon from the Dutch league. Anyway, that's them. Harris, come on, man. Are we going to sign a striker, or are we going to stick with what we got?
We do need a third striker, someone with experience. Unpopular opinion, maybe they should bring Zlatan out of retirement just for 6 months.
There you go.
Cash in the t-shirts as well.
See? Simple.
He's still
no stress. Of course.
He doesn't need to be fit. Μόνο που να είμαι στο γήπεδο να βάλει 20 γκολ μέσα σε μισούς αγώνες, να βάλει 20 γκολ εύκολα.
Next year, Rafa.
For sure.
He has a connection,
boys,
right?
Of course. They're good friends. Of course.
JJ.
Καλά, είδες ο JJ.
Ναι, γι' αυτόν ήβραν και επιθετικών και αμυντικών μπομπάει.
Αλλά ακούσεις τι λένε όμως, για Σουηδούς. Είπαν ότι ναι ξέρει πολλά το Σουηδικό πρωτάθλημα, αλλά είπαν ότι θα φασφέρει Σουηδικούς παίχτες. Διότι είναι καμία μάτσο με φιλοσοφία της Ομονίας. Έτσι είπατε.
Well, he's brought more Africans than Swedes, hasn't he? So maybe there's that.
Da parlavano di Chris Pumenan, vale? No, Zoho's brother is training.
Yeah.
17 years old. Δεν πειράζει.
Why is Pedro here again?
Τα πρόβλημα έχει ρε Chris. Πες μου ρε σημαντισμένη τα πρόβλημα έχεις που μεταμε. Ναι ρε μεταμε να με θωρείς ρε.
Την κοινή. Την κοινή ήταν 6 χρόνων νομίζω. Ας το φέρουμε στο τέλος του χρόνου, στο τέλος της χρονιάς, 10 μήνες.
Yeah, he's at Ayers now. Anyway, boys, thank you for jumping on. Thank you for your time. I hope you guys have enjoyed the rest of your weekend. We're going to finish it. Pedro, do you have... It's raining?
It's raining.
Yeah.
It's raining in Cyprus?
It's raining.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
England weather.
It's sunny, man. It's sunny in London. We have what's the temperature? What's the temperature? Have a look. Another Google weather. London. Come on. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's not working. Perfect. Oh, 14 degrees.
It's 27 here, but it's raining and they're expecting storms tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? Get your maillot out. You can swim in the rain.
Κάτι μας έρθουν να πεις για να κλείσουμε, κάτι μου ελάλες, before I said it's raining.
To me?
Ναι.
No,
even a plan enjoy your Sogiriaco. Enjoy your weekend, the rest of the weekend.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, yeah. Go on, I was going to say, is there anything else you want to say?
No. Just hang in there. Next game is Πάφος. Τη Δευτέρα, μαλάκες έβαλα μας Δευτέρα. Πώς θα πάει ο κόσμος ρε στην Πάφο η ώρα 7 της Δευτέρας ρε φίλε. Πώς θα πάει ο κόσμος της ο Λευκοσιάτης στην Πάφο η ώρα 7 τη νύχτα της Δευτέρα. Και μας τελειάς το περιπέξιμο.
Και να φάμε θέμα και να στάμε πίσω.
Bro, I'm not trying to be funny, yeah, but this attitude, I find it hilarious. When I see teams like fucking Newcastle United playing Southampton on a Monday night, and it takes them 6 hours to get back to Newcastle, and the game finishes at 10 o'clock at night, and they don't get out of the stadium till gone 11 o'clock, and they get home at fucking 5 in the morning, and you guys are complaining about an hour and a half drive to Buffalo.
It's not the 1 hour and a half to Buffalo, but at the time that they have put it, για να σε ωρέξεις στο γήπεδο ρε φίλε, ένας Λευκοσιάτης πρέπει να φύγει από τη Λευκοσία για να περάσει εκείνη την ώρα να φύγει έξω από τη Λευκοσία και από τη Λεμεσό, because everyone is finishing work at that time, he needs 2 hours minimum, maybe more than 2 hours to go to Paphos at that time.
Εξής είπατε 4:30.
Πρέπει 4:30 να φύγεις από τη Λευκοσία. Ο κόσμος δουλεύει η ώρα 4:30 ρε φίλε. We don't have millions in Cyprus like in England, που έχει κάνει τους άχρηστους μες στις μπειραρίες και πίνουν από το πρωί, που δουλεύουν. They're taking money from the state. If you want to be honest, let's be honest.
That's not fair.
No, it's fair.
That's not fair.
In the ass.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a fact right now. Yeah, there's actually more job opportunities in Newcastle than there are in London. Why?
Maybe Newcastle.
Because it's cheaper labor. Because all of these big companies, like your mobile phone companies, whatever, they're all relocating up north because it's cheaper. Land is cheaper. Renting property is cheaper. Buildings are cheaper. That's why there's high. Yeah, I should go live in Newcastle.
You get the meaning of what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Να πάνε οι παφίτες να μας υποστηρίξουν οι ομονιάτες.
Έχουμε πολύ κοπία.
Οι ομονιάτες να μας υποστηρίξουν. Στην Πάφο έχει και fan club η Ομόνια. Θα πρέπει να μιλήσω με τους φίλους και κάτω όταν που γίνεται εσύ καιρό να μιλήσουμε.
When are you going to do other Jackesame?
Αν είμαστε καλά ρε φίλε, η Τετάρτη η Πέμπτη, I will let you know.
Okay. Good. All right. There you go. Something to look forward to.
Να κάνουμε το Jackesame για την Πάφο. Να πούμε ρε εσύ.
Πάμε και μετά μέσα στο Jackesame.
Να σκεφτώ. Γιατί είσαι αρχικαρά όλος εσύ, να σκεφτώ.
Πενέω.
Ρε, είναι στο πουζάκουμε ρε.
Well, on that note, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your nonna. We'll be back very, very well. Thasso. Pedro will be back. I got
Don't call me Thasso. Look, I got hair, malaka. Look at this, Ray. How can you confuse me with Thasso?
Jan Lejax-esque.
For sakes.
Hi there. Goodbye.